Richician.
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here and welcome to Q&A number 186. Let's kick it off. Gongo congratulated me for the anniversary, thank you very much for that. Just waiting to see how James Sullivan will react to it. 1. Which archetype of the Cyberse and Illusion would be possible to make for Konami? Well, technically they're a monster type, not an archetype, but I know what you mean. I don't know what they could do next, actually. Although I had noticed on Edo Pro that there's other monster types that are Rush Duel exclusives. So, I think there was Galaxy or Night, something along those lines. I'm not sure. I don't know if any of those will be copied and brought over to the normal TCG game, but I think Cyborg was another. Then again, I don't think they do that because cyborgs are machines and we already have a machine archetype. But no, I don't really know what else they could do after that. Yeah, I can't think of anything. 2. Do you read books, and if yes, which ones? Not anymore. I mean, I did read books, but now I don't, just because I just never make the time to. I think the last books I actually read were the Harry Potter ones. That was it. Then again, do cookbooks count? Because I did look through those for certain recipes. But no, other than that, I don't read books nowadays. And 3, drop-in bonus question. That's fine. What do you think about the new 3 Dark Magician cards? I did wonder if someone would ask me about those for my Q&A segment. But yeah, let's have a look at them, starting with Timaeus the United Magic Dragon. I mean, I don't know if any of these change much for the deck, but they're just extra options to have, although they are quite cool options, and I don't know how I'm going to fit them in. Anyway, Timaeus. Yeah, quite easy to summon, just needing Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, and a dragon or a spellcaster, so very easy to bring out. Unaffected by card effects in the turn is special summon, so that's really handy as well when it comes out onto the field. And can just become a big powerhouse based on how many spells are in the grave and banished zone. That can be very, very handy late game. I guess that's what this card is more of, a late game finisher, potentially. The more, because obviously spells will build up as the duel goes on, and then this can just come out at the last moment and potentially win it. That last effect, though, could be annoyingly disruptive. Just during the opponent's turn, just pop a spell or trap, just like that. No cost, no drawback, although the only drawback, I guess, being that it's restricted to the opponent's turn. So, yeah, that could prove to be very annoying, and I just feel so bad. Just because of how disruptive this could be, and I'm not the sort of player that likes to disrupt opponents' plays, unless I have to. But then again, I suppose the opponent can just play around it by just setting a bluff and making me waste it. Who knows? I know this would be annoying if it's used against me, though. Dark Magician of Destruction, that's the one that sees the most play at the moment. So, yeah, I like how it can just simply be made with Dark Magician and a light or a dark monster. Very easy to bring out as well. Well, I say very easy, but it needs a level 6 or higher dark spellcaster, but then again, they're not really difficult to get out nowadays. I wish it said tribute instead of banish, because I really don't want to have to banish a Dark Magician just to get this out. I mean, I will if I have to, but I'd rather just banish something else or fusion summon it properly, personally. I mean, yeah, I probably could play Burial from a different dimension or Pot of Acquisitiveness just to get it back, but would it really be worth the deck space? I'm not sure. And yeah, it would be one of 3 that I'm banishing, but it's like, well, I don't want to lose any of them. I mean, I'd be okay with banishing Dark Magician Girl or Apprentice Illusion Magician. Well, Apprentice Illusion, I wouldn't be bothered about. Dark Magician Girl, it'd be like, yeah, I'd be okay with that, but then again, I'd be getting one less draw of Soul Servant, and if I got out the Dark Magicians, I won't be able to use its floating effect, because it has to be able to bring out both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. So that could be awkward. I guess if it comes out like at the end of the game, it wouldn't matter who I banish. But an easy workaround, of course, is something I was showing, which was Ready Fusion and Sandwich. And I do have a copy of Ready Fusion, which I think I pulled from last year's Megatin, can't remember, or maybe it was the year before. I think I have Sandwich, I'm not sure. But depending on how many copies I want to play, I'd have to pick those up quite quickly before they go up in price. Then again, I don't know when we're going to get these in English, although I have a funny feeling they might be in a future Battles of Legends set. We'll have to see on that one. It is interesting that its name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, but then you can't special summon it from the graveyard, because it says it must be fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck by banishing a level 6 or higher dark spellcaster. But I think how they've done this is an extra option with Chaos form, because if you want to use like a ritual variant, or rather play and run Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon or any of the Blackluster Soldier rituals, you could just banish this card as the tribute. So yeah, it serves a use there. And I love its ability to just add Dark Magician or any card that mentions it. Hello.
Hanging around me going, yeah.
Aww. And then the last card, the Gaze of Timaeus. Bless you. Which I think was made as an excuse to not errata the Eye of Timaeus. I still think they should do that. So I like that it's a quick play spell. I like how it sort of acts like a miracle fusion and parallel world fusion for Dark Magician fusion monsters. So that's really good. But what I don't like, of course, is the fact that it banishes that fusion monster at the end of the next turn. Just why? What's the point? It just seems like another unnecessary drawback, which Dark Magician and Red Eye support cards keep getting. See, Blue Eyes just has it easy. I mean, the support that gets, there's just hardly any drawbacks to any of the Blue Eyes support. I mean, the only one being, oh, this is a hard once per turn activation, but it's like, well, that means nothing, whereas Dark Magician and Red Eyes seem to get the short straw. I mean, one tip that I did learn from a video was that you can just activate the Gaze of Timaeus on the opponent's turn, so that way that fusion would get banished at the end of my turn, but then again by then I could just easily link it off or fuse it off into something else, or just do it on the same turn I activate it anyway. So there are some workarounds. I think someone I know mentioned using Imperial Iron War, which saves it from being banished, but there are some issues with that. One, it's situational and would take up deck space, and it's like, is it really worth it? And the other problem is it shuts down some Dark Magician cards that are played anyway, like, and then you can't banish off Circle, Master of Chaos, Ebon Illusion Magician, and Black Luster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. Oh, yeah, our kittens are sitting like a dog. So, yeah, that's the only problem. Of course, another workaround is if I'm bringing out a spell cost of fusion with the Gaze of Timaeus, then I could run Illusion Magic again and then use that to tribute it off and add 2 Dark Magicians, just to get around the banish. Otherwise, just linking it away, fusing it away, or tributing it for something might be the best workarounds to the banish part. But yeah, other than that, they're all cool cards. Nice, pleasant surprise. I haven't worked out how to fit them into my deck though. One other thing I will say about them is that it just annoys me when people are calling these cards crap. I just don't understand why. Like, there's been too much of just these cards being insulted and called bad, and even one person in the comments of a video said Dark Magician can't stand on its own. But I resent all this. Dark Magician absolutely can stand on its own. Hell, I won 5 local tournaments with Dark Magician. Well, 3 if we're only counting the more modern support that we've been getting since the Dark Illusion. So this proves that Dark Magician absolutely can stand on its own, and most of these wins were against meta. And also, there's no such thing as a bad card. Anyone who says otherwise is just full of shit. It just annoys me so much. I mean, even compulsory evacuation device was randomly insulted just the other day, where it was said, why are people playing Compulse? It's bad. But no, it's really not. I mean, Compulse is still a very good card, even to this day. It's just ridiculously disruptive, whether it's in past format games or even modern games. Alright, yes, it targets, and it's not great against anything with targeting immunity or is unaffected by card effects, but so what? Not every deck is going to have those kinds of monsters. It just really pisses me off when people call cards or even decks or players bad. Because again, there is no such thing as a bad card or a bad deck or a bad player, and anyone who says otherwise is full of shit. I mean, this could even be someone's favourite card or favourite deck that they're insulting, and that's just hurtful. Why do people have to say this shit? I mean, it even gets to points where it's like, well, they're not even being constructive with their criticism, they're just straight up being mean. And this shit mainly comes from competitive players as well. Now, I'm not saying all competitive players are like this, I'm just saying that that's where this mainly comes from. But it's like, well, not every card in the game has to be competitive. I mean, the thing to remember is, like, this is a game, and the whole point of a game is to play it for the fun of it. Just like what I was saying the other day, I mean, there's more to Yu-Gi-Oh! Than just the competitive side and meta. I mean, to be honest, me personally, I've been out of the competitive loop for so long due to leaving tournaments and leaving current format that I practically refuse to acknowledge the existence of the competitive side, because it's just so shit, and there are players who are just so toxic, and they're just elitist snobs. I know that this is supposed to be a Q&A rather than a rant video, and I'm digressing, but I just felt like I should bring it up. This stuff just ticks me off big time. I for one am of course going to be very welcoming towards this Dark Magician stuff. And like I said, I don't know how I'm going to fit it into my Dark Magician deck, but I'll find a way. I always do. Now, even though that's it for questions in the episode, Dragon Master 25 has given me a couple, not too long ago at the time of recording. He wants to know, out of the 3 Back to the Future movies, which one's my favourite one? It's a tough one, but I'm going to say the third one, because it's the one I've watched the most. In fact, there was a time from 1995 where it was recorded on a videotape, and I'd watch it from time to time. just like the sequence of events that played out. The cowboy showdown stuff, and just using a steam train to push the DeLorean along and try and get it to 85 miles an hour. Yeah, that was the top speed, right? That was needed to make it go back in time or forward in time. I'm sure I'm right. I mean, maybe like Dragon Master or Dark Magic Couple can confirm or correct me, but I feel like 85 miles per hour is right. And there was a nice ending to it, even though the DeLorean got destroyed. Yeah, it was nice that Doc Brown was able to find a way to, well, get back to the future from 1885. And the last one was rate all the Terminator movies from best to worst. I think that's what he said. Well, this didn't take too long to think about. So the best, I would say, is Terminator 2, definitely. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah, it was a well thought out story, a very well thought out sequel. It was cool that Arnie's Terminator was able to what's the word I'm looking for? Transcend over from normal bad Terminator to reprogrammed good Terminator. So it was a very cool switcheroo, and have a different kind of Terminator be the bad guy. So yeah, the battle scenes were great. The storyline was great, and it had a satisfying ending. And I know a lot of people will feel the story should have ended there. And while it was nice to get a third one, it didn't have a satisfying ending. And then after that, there would be sequels which never had another satisfying conclusion, and then it would branch off from a different timeline, and it would repeat, and it's like it's kind of an unfinished mess. And while I did enjoy the others for what they were, I'm now starting to feel like the whole story should have ended with the ending of Terminator 2. And then the second one, I would say, the original Terminator movie. It was an original, unique storyline in terms of science fiction and horror, and it was the only movie, really, unless you're counting the second one, where the Terminator was just considered really scary. This scary, unstoppable force just constantly coming at you no matter what you throw at it, and became near impossible to destroy, basically. Whereas then again, the T-1000 proved to be very scary, definitely, although I'm trying to decide whether or not it was as scary as the original Terminator, whereas evil Terminators after that just weren't really that scary. Okay. I mean, they were still sinister and relentless, but it just didn't have the same vibe. Unlike the first two evil Terminators. Third, I would say, Terminator 3. Because again, it was a pretty well thought out story, and yeah, it was interesting having it where it ended with the start of the war between man and machine, but I just wish there was a sequel where the storyline would finally end with a satisfying conclusion. But again, it was different though, having like a female Terminator. So I'll give it that. Then fourth would be Salvation, because again it was just different from the other ones, having it where the events took place during the war between mankind and Skynet. So it was pretty cool, but it just didn't feel the same. Then fifth, second worst, I would say Genesis. Now, it was an interesting storyline, having bits of the first Terminator film in there, and the fight scene between two T-800s was cool, but that's the only good thing I can say about it, really. I mean, I didn't like the idea of John Connor being turned into a bad guy, because, you know, again, because it's John Connor, he's meant to be, you know, the main human hero, the saviour of mankind, the leader of the resistance that everyone looks up to and respects, and then just like that, he's just turned into a bad guy, a practically unkillable Terminator with no way to reverse the process. And it's like, why would you do that? And then it seemed implied that Skynet seemed to survive despite Genesis being destroyed, and then that storyline got cancelled, so it wasn't great. And then of course there's the worst, definitely, Dark Fate. Now, the only positive thing I can say about it is the fight scene at the end, where like Carl, Sarah, I forgot the names of the other women. Danny. What was the name of that female Terminator? Grace, that was it. Grace. I liked how all four of them fought the Rev 500. But yeah, like I said, that's the only good thing I can say about it. Because yeah, I really didn't like that John Connor was killed off. And then timelines kind of got a bit confusing, because surely if he's killed off, that means Skynet would win, right? But then, and there shouldn't have even been a Terminator, because in Terminator 2 they made it so that the war doesn't happen. So why is there like a rogue Terminator coming after him, followed by Skynet disappearing and then Legion coming out of nowhere? Yeah, I just didn't like that. But I mean, if they do make a seventh Terminator film, then maybe it can just tidy up all these messes and, you know, actually give the whole story a satisfying conclusion. But then again, I don't even know if Arnold Schwarzenegger would be in it. I heard somewhere that he wasn't willing to reprise the role because of how Dark Fate and Genesis turned out. I mean, I could be wrong here. I mean, I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying something I read somewhere. Anyway, that's how I'd rate them, and that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks a lot for your guys' questions, very cool ones as always, and if you have any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments section down below. And remember, I do these episodes every Wednesday afternoon or evening, UK time, so be sure to get your questions in before then, so that you don't miss out. Thanks again, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.